All right, so hello everyone. This is Abdurrahman Murad with you, and in today's session, inshallah, we will help you to understand the present simple tense, and some people call it the simple present tense. So let's start. Um, when you come to study tenses in English, every tense you should know four sense. In every tense, you should know four sense. You should know the meaning of it. This is the first part. You should know the meaning of this tense. Then comes the form, how to build, how to construct this tense. After that, you need to know the usage of it, right? Some people say that meaning is like the usage and the vice versa, right? It doesn't matter, right? And you should know the pronunciation of it. Grammar has a sound. Don't forget it. Grammar has a sound. So in every tense, whether you're gonna to study the simple present or past simple tense or present perfect, you should put or take into consideration the four parts, meaning the form, the usage, and the pronunciation. So let's start with today's topic, the present simple tense. So um, here we start with the usage. As I mentioned before, some people say the meaning is the usage and the usage is meaning, means the vice versa. Right, it's somehow close, but we need to know that we use the present simple tense when we want to talk about habits, right? So something happens regularly, like your routine, your typical day. So we use this tense to express that. So I get up in the morning, I take a shower, I have my breakfast with my family, and I go to work um, by taxi. I meet my friends. If these things happen regularly, happen every day, happen in a routine, so we use this tense to send this idea, right? Again, so we use the present simple tense to talk about habits. We use it to talk about habits, all right? And actually, we use it to talk about facts. There are many other uses with the simple present, but it's not their time to mention it now because this video is dedicated only for beginners, right? So we use the present simple to talk about what? Tell me. We use it to talk about habits and facts. Facts, things that are always true. You can't change it. Like fish live underwater. Trees give us wood. Cows give us milk, right? People drink fresh water, right? So no one can deny that fish live underwater. So we use the present simple to send the concept of facts and the concept of habits. Here we have some examples. He smokes. This is a habit of him that he always smokes or he smokes. Dogs bark, right? So this is a fact. No one can deny that dogs bark. And no one also can deny cats drink milk. All people know that cats drink milk. So these are the uses of the present simple tense. And that is the first slide of today's session. Move to the next slide. The next slide is an important note. It says that if you want to mention or if you want to tell something happening at the time of speaking in front of your eyes, we don't use the simple present, but we use the pr- present present continuous. And some people get confused between the two tenses. Actually, the present continuous, we use it to express what is happening now or around now. And the present continuous, inshallah, we will demonstrate it later. But when you want to express something happening now, we use the present continuous. For example, I'm asking about your brother, and your brother, he is at work now. So you're gonna say working. He's working. This is present continuous because he always works at night. He always works at night. This is fact, or this is habit. This is a permanent situation, but this is happening now. My dogs bark a lot. This is the habit of my dog. He always barks, but now he isn't barking. I'm not talking I'm talking about what is he doing now. So I use the present continuous, but he isn't barking. This is very important to note. You should take into consideration. Move to the third slide. So sometimes we use adverbs of frequency or adverbs phrases. Just here we can make a draft. There are things called parts of speech. There are things called parts of speech, and parts of speech in English are eight, like noun, pronoun, verb, adverb, adjective, conjunction, interjection, and preposition. Right. So adverb is a part of speech and it describes verbs, right? So we add adverb to verbs. Why? To give some details about the verb. It tells us some information and some details about the verb. So if someone asks me what is the importance of adverbs, again, it tells you something, an important point note about the verb. So here we have some adverbs like always, never, occasionally, often, and some people say often, sometimes, usually, every week, on Mondays, twice a year. All these words actually give information about the verb. So if I say I go to church on Sundays, it's an adverbial phrase and they tell us which days I go to church. If I say it rains in winter, it tells us when does it rain. it rains in winter. For example, if I say I always drink milk in the morning. If I wrote this sentence without the word always, it's okay, but you don't tell us how often do you do this action. The word ways tells us uh, that you do it every day. I always drink. So the word always gives information about the verb drink. So adverbs of frequency are important. Anyway, all kinds of adverbs. Actually, in English, there are six kinds of adverbs. So all kinds of these adverbs are very important to describe the tense, right? And we use them with the present simple, right? Move to the next slide. Right. So again and again, we have finished the usage of the present tense, right? So we have finished the usage. And now it's time to pay attention to the form, how to build it, how to construct it. So you need to know how to form the present simple in positive and how to build it in negative, and also as to how to build it in questions. Positive is the most important thing because from positive we can absorb the negative, we can get the negative, and from the positive and the negative we can get the question, right? So let's start with the positive. Here you should know the sentence in English begins with the subject. What is the meaning of the subject? The doer, as the person who does the action, or the thing who does the action, right? It doesn't matter, can be a person, can be a thing. Anyway, we start our sentence with the subject. The subject is the doer, and the doer can be a noun like Tom, Jack, uh, Sarah, Muhammad, and so on. So it can be a noun, and also it can be a pronoun, right? So it can be a noun or it can be a pronoun. Then comes the verb, right? Then comes the verb. If the subject is plural or one of these pronouns like I, we, you, they, or any plural nouns. So if the subject is plural or one of these pronouns like I, we, you, they, we use the base form. We use the infinitive. We don't add anything to the verb. So here I work. Work here is the base form. You work, the same thing. Infinitive. We work, you work, they work. So with plural and these pronouns, we don't add anything to the verb. We use the verb as it is. On the other hand, if you use pronouns like he, she, and it, we should put s or es or ies to the end of the verb. So if the subject here, um, he, she, it, or any singular, right? We add, we write the verb, then we add s or es or S. Right? This is very, very important. So if you wanted to speak English and express and tell us the habits of Mo Salah, and you say that he train every day. So this sentence is right or wrong? This sentence is totally wrong. Why? Why this sentence is totally wrong? Because the verb here is train. You didn't match it with the subject he. He trains, right? Not he train. He trains every day. So now you know how to build the simple present. Move to how to make it in negative form. Here we have an important point. As I mentioned, is in the previous previous in the previous slide, we started a sentence with a noun or pronoun or the subject, then comes the verb. If the verb is singular, we add s or es or ies to the verb, right? If the subject is singular, we do that. We add s or es or ies. So what are the cases of adding s and es and ies? So let's start with es. If the verb ends with s or h, and o, and also x, right? And even Z. So if the verb ends with double S, H, C, H, X, O, X, Z, we add ES. Here, the verb kiss, I kiss. Can I say I kisses? No, because the subject is I. With I, we don't add anything. But he kisses. We added es. Why? Because the subject is he, singular. I watch, but he watches. We add es. We add es because of he, and we add es, not s or ies, because the verb ends with ch. The same for do. I say I do, but he does. Here we add es because he, and we add es because the verb ends with o. The same for box. I box. He boxes. I rush. He rushes. I go. He goes. So if the verb ends with these ends, like SHCHXO, we add ES. All right. Um, and what are the cases of adding IES if the verb ends with Y, right? Like the verb study. Study ends with Y, and the Y is preceded with a consonant. Y is preceded with a consonant. So we change the Y to IES. But on the other hand, if the verb ends with Y and Y is preceded with a vowel, we only add S. So we say plays, says. It says. Some people say says, but says. We here add S because Y is preceded with a vowel. Here we added S because Y is preceded with a vowel. So if the last letter is Y, you should pay attention to the letter before Y. If it is a consonant, we change it to IES, and if it is a vowel, we add only S, and we put S or ES and IES only with singulars. And now we're up with this slide, moving to Next one, its pronunciation. As I mentioned before, um, grammar has a sound. So the final S can be pronounced in three ways. Can be pronounced like s, and s is a voiceless sound. So I say likes, works, right? Likes, works. Here S is like s, and it's a voiceless sound. Here z, z. It's a voiced sound, and the voiced it means come from the throat. So plays, goes, lives. I don't say plays. No, this is wrong. I don't say goes. No, it's goes. I don't say lives. No, lives. So it z sound. And if the word and s can be like is, like watches is finishes, right? So grammar has a sound, and the final s can be pronounced like that. All right. So moving to the next one. So I want you to listen now. I want you to listen and write the words in the correct group. So I want you to listen and put these words in the correct group according to the final S, whether it is s or is. Right? Listen, I will share the sound. So sorry, no, I won't share the sound with you now. Just 1 second. I will bring up the sound at once. Where is the sound? Here is it. Here is the sound. So I think it is the sound. Listen.
Unit 1, page 5. Read. Exercise 2. Read and listen to the text. Supermum. Sue Povey gets up at 6
No,
every morning
sorry,
and
not
makes
the sound.
breakfast for 15 people.
It's not the sound I
Sue
want.
has a difficult job. She works hard every day.
Maybe that.
But she does. Unit 1, page 7. Grammar. Exploit. Exercise 2. Listen and repeat. 1,
S. Likes. Works.
2,
Z. Plays. Goes. Lives.
3,
Is. Watches. Finishes.
All right, I want you to listen again because the problem that happened. So please listen again.
Unit 1, page 7. Grammar. Exploit. Exercise 2. Listen and repeat. 1,
S. Likes. Works.
2,
Z. Plays. Goes. Lives.
3,
Is. Watches. Finishes.
I wish you repeated the final uh, sounds. So back to this slide. I want you to listen and put the words in the correct thing as I mentioned.
Unit 1, page 7. Grammar. Exploit. Exercise 3. Listen and write the words in the correct group.
Does. Moves. Drives. Hates. Listens. Looks. Loves. Speaks. Stays. Teaches. Tells. Washes.
All right, we have finished. Let's discover the correct answer and listen again.
Unit 1, page 7. Grammar. Exploit. Exercise 3. Listen and write the words in the correct group.
Does. Moves. Drives. Hates. Listens. Looks. Loves. Speaks. Stays. Teaches. Tells. Washes.
Actually, this table helps you to know whether or not you have answered in the right way. Right, so all these verbs end with s, hates, looks, speaks, stays. All these verbs end with the, like does, moves, drives, listens, and loves, tells. All these verbs ends with is, like teaches and washes. Move to the next slide. We have only two irregular verbs here. We have two irregular verbs here. You should keep them. They are verb to be and verb to have. Every rule has its own exception. So verb to be, it changes to is and are, and the verb to have, it changes to have and has. Right? So the verb to be, I am, you are, he, she, it, take, is, we are, you are, and they are. But with verb to have, I have, you have, he, she, it has, we, you, they have. And actually, native speakers say have with voiceless f sound, not have, except if they want to stress the thing. Right, this is very important, and all of you maybe know that. Uh, Move to the coming slide. Yes, this is a negative. As I mentioned, we start the sentence with subject, right? So in case you use the subject in a plural form, like I, we, you, they, children, any plural subject or any plural form, the infinitive is followed. And if you use singulars like he, she, and it, we add s or es to the verb, right? S or es or ies. So the verb should end with s. Anyway, how to make it negative? Here, with the first case, we use don't, and don't is followed by infinitive. The second case, we use doesn't, and doesn't and doesn't is followed by the infinitive. So let's take some examples. I don't work. So here we use do not because the subject is I. Here we use do not because the subject is you. Here we use does not because the subject is he, she, it, and be careful. Doesn't is followed by the infinitive, the base form, right? We don't work. You don't work. They don't work. Here do not come with they because they takes do, right? So in case of plural, we use don't. In case of singulars, we use doesn't. Moving to the next slide. If you want to stop here and take some break, it's okay. If you wanted to still with us, it's okay. You can stop or pause the video and then come back. So in negative, we use don't or doesn't. Yeah, do not becomes don't here. Do not becomes don't, doesn't, and you can make a negative question. Anyway, I want here to refer that if you uh, make a negative sentence, we put stress on the negative word. Here I say, I don't work. I don't work. Here, the most stressed word here is don't. He doesn't work. He doesn't work. You can notice that I pronounce the word doesn't in a slow way because it is stressed. He doesn't work. And sometimes they don't pronounce the and the at the end of the word. So don't I work? Doesn't he work? And so on. That was mentioned. Yes. What is it? The last slide is if you wanted to make a question in the simple present, you start with do or does. Do or does, they are called auxiliaries. Auxiliaries because they help the main verb. So auxiliaries. Do like don't come with I, we, you, they, or the plural form. Does like he, she, it, and the singular, right? And both of them are followed by infinitive. And we call them, or we call it a yes and no question because the answer whether yes or no, and it's a close question. You don't have much more options, you know? So, do I work? The answer yes, I do, or yes, you do, or no, you don't. Do you work? The answer, yes, I do, because you changes to I. Does he work? Does she work? Does it work? Yes, he does, or no, no, he doesn't. Some people say, yes, he does. Some people prefer to answer without yes or no, say, sure, okay. It It's up to you. It's up to you to say sure, certainly, of course, or use the formal answer with which yes he does or no he doesn't. All right. Remember, I it changes to you, and you it changes to I or we. Be careful. Now, moving to the exercise. Questions. I want you to read the text, this text, and find examples of the simple present, right? Pause the video, read this text, and find out the verbs which are in the simple present, right? This is the answer. Of course, don't see the answer before answering by yourself, right? So here is the present simple. We said that verb to be changes to am is are. Watch because Americans is a pluralized word, so it is followed by the infinitive. The same for live with Simpsons because they are plural. Isn't here goes with part, right? He is can be contracted to apostrophe s. Classmates, like, we don't add s because like classmates is polarized. The same for she studies, parents are, and so on. I want you to complete these sentences with the present simple uh, tense. So you complete these sentences with these words in the box. So pause the video and do it. Let's my brother and I think here is the gap, not here. This is wrong. The gap is here. So my brother and I go to Spring. Here gonna go to Springfield Elementary. Go comes here because my brother and I are plural. My little sister, my little sister. Can I say my little sister study? No, because sister is singular. So my little sister studies hard at school. Can I say my wife at home with our baby? My wife stay or stays? It will be stays because my wife is singular, right? My classmates like or likes. It will be like. You know why? Because classmates are plural, right? I not in I space in Springfield with my husband. I work. I think I work or I live. No, I live. I live. I live in Springfield with my husband. Moving to the next one. So here you should match the verb with the subject. So she pause the video, stop the video, answer the questions, then move on. She lives. Go with we, so we go. I with walk, so I walk. Jenny goes. We finish. She always she gets up. We add s gets up. Um, our homework first, and then we watches. No, 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 that's wrong. We watch. So sorry, we watch because we. Oh my gosh, I like, but Jenny hates. She thinks because thinks match it with she. She takes a verb with s, right? Th- I helped you, gave you a hand with these answers so that you can do it at home. I want you now to write 5 sentences under the video. Write sentences under the video using these words, and I will correct them for you. Right? That's all about the simple present for beginners. And that is Abdurrahman Murad from Egypt. If you want to contact me, I will write my WhatsApp number in the description box. Thanks for watching and see you soon. Bye bye.